Life is not lost in one dramatic moment. It is lost slowly, in small, unnoticed choices. One lazy morning, one excuse, one ignored responsibility. These moments feel harmless, but together they shape the direction of your future. Think about it. You don't wake up one day and suddenly find your dreams gone. It happens quietly. You scroll instead of learning. You complain instead of acting. You wait instead of trying. Each small choice feels safe, but each one steals a piece of your life. The silent thief of life is not tragedy. It is neglect. Neglect of your time, your energy, your potential. Neglect whispers, "Tomorrow will be better." But tomorrow never arrives. Contrast this with attention. Attention is powerful. Attention says, "This moment matters." Attention builds discipline, and discipline builds freedom. When you choose to act with intention, even in small ways, you reclaim your life. I once knew a man named Ravi. He dreamed of becoming a teacher, but every day he delayed studying. He told himself he would start next week, next month, next year. Years passed, and his dream faded. Not because he lacked talent, but because neglect stole his time. Now compare Ravi's story with another. A woman named May wanted to learn English. She didn't have hours to study, but she gave herself 10 minutes each day. 10 minutes of focus, 10 minutes of discipline. Over time, those minutes built confidence. Today, she speaks fluently. Her success didn't come from sudden breakthroughs. It came from small daily choices. This is the sharp contrast: neglect versus attention, excuses versus discipline, stagnation versus growth. Here's a simple exercise. Write down one small choice you make every day that feels harmless. Maybe it's checking your phone before working, skipping exercise, or avoiding a difficult conversation. Then ask yourself, if I repeat this choice for the next 5 years, what will it cost me? That question reveals the silent thief. But here's the good news. If small choices can steal your future, small changes can rebuild it. One act of attention, one moment of discipline, one choice to act instead of delay. That is how transformation begins. Life rewards attention. It punishes neglect. Every small decision matters. Every habit writes your story. So let this be your wake-up call. You are not losing your life in one day. You are losing it slowly. But you can reclaim it instantly, the moment you choose to act with intention. If small choices can steal your future, small changes can rebuild it. The hidden cost of comfort. How excuses shape your story. Comfort feels safe. It feels warm, familiar, and easy. You tell yourself, "I'll do it tomorrow. I'll start when I feel ready. I'll try when the time is perfect." These words sound harmless, but they are the beginning of a slow decline. Procrastination is clever. It disguises itself as rest. It whispers, "You deserve a break." Fear of failure adds, "Better to wait than to risk embarrassment." Self-doubt joins in, "You're not good enough yet." Together, they create a blanket of comfort that feels protective. But underneath that blanket, your dreams are suffocating. Think about scrolling on your phone. One video, one post, one more minute. It feels harmless, but those minutes add up to hours. Those hours add up to days, and those days add up to years. While you scroll, someone else is learning, building, and growing. The contrast is sharp: scrolling versus learning. One path leads to regret, the other to progress. I once knew a man named Daniel. He wanted to start a fitness journey, but every morning he told himself, "I'll begin tomorrow." Tomorrow became next week, next month, next year. His health declined, his energy faded, and his confidence disappeared. Not because he lacked ability, but because comfort disguised itself as safety. Now compare Daniel's story with another. A woman named Aisha wanted to improve her career. She was afraid of rejection, afraid of failure. But instead of waiting, she chose discomfort. She applied for jobs, faced interviews, and accepted mistakes as lessons. Within a year, she had a new role, higher pay, and stronger confidence. Her success came not from comfort, but from courage. Complaining is another disguise. It feels like release. You tell yourself, "I'm just venting." But complaining without action is poison. It keeps you stuck in the same place, repeating the same frustrations. The contrast is clear. Complaining versus acting. Complaining builds regret. Acting builds results. Waiting is perhaps the most dangerous comfort of all. Waiting feels responsible. You say, "I'm waiting for the right time." But the right time never arrives. Life moves forward whether you act or not. Waiting steals years silently until one day you look back and wonder where your time went. Here's a simple exercise. Write down one excuse you use often. Maybe it's, "I'm too tired," or "I'll start tomorrow." Then ask yourself, if I keep using this excuse for the next 5 years, what will it cost me? That question reveals the hidden price of comfort. Comfort today creates pain tomorrow. Discomfort today creates freedom tomorrow. The choice is yours. Imagine 2 futures. In one, you choose comfort. You scroll, complain, and wait. Years pass, and regret grows heavier. In the other, you choose discomfort. You act, you learn, you grow. Mistakes become lessons, and courage becomes your identity. Which future do you want? Every excuse feels harmless now, but each one writes a line of regret in your future. Mindset shift. Turning pain into power. Pain is often misunderstood. Most people see it as punishment, as something to avoid at all costs. Discomfort feels like failure, like proof that you are not ready. But here's the truth. Pain and discomfort are not enemies. They are signals. They are teachers. They are the compass pointing you toward growth. When you live in victimhood, pain feels unbearable. You say, "Why me? Why now? Why is life so unfair?" You wait for circumstances to change, for someone else to fix your problems. But when you shift your mindset to ownership, pain becomes power. You begin to ask, what can I learn? How can I grow? What action can I take today? That shift changes everything. Fear thrives in victimhood. It whispers that you are too weak, too late, too unprepared. Courage thrives in ownership. It says, "I may not be perfect, but I am willing to try." The contrast is sharp. Fear keeps you stuck. Courage moves you forward. I once knew a man named Luis who lost his job unexpectedly. At first, he felt crushed. He blamed the economy, his boss, and his bad luck. He lived in victimhood, waiting for someone to rescue him. But months passed, and nothing changed. Then one day, he decided to take ownership. He used his pain as fuel. He learned new skills, applied for opportunities, and built a small business. His pain became his power. Another story is about Sarah, who struggled with public speaking. Every time she stood in front of people, discomfort overwhelmed her. She wanted to run away, but instead of avoiding it, she leaned in. She practiced, failed, and tried again. Each mistake taught her something. Each moment of discomfort built her courage. Today, she speaks confidently to hundreds of people. Her discomfort was not her enemy. It was her guide. Here's a simple exercise. Think of one area in your life where you feel pain or discomfort. Write it down. Then ask yourself, what is this pain trying to teach me? Maybe it is showing you where you need discipline. Maybe it is pointing to a skill you must build. Maybe it is reminding you to take responsibility. Action becomes identity. Every time you act, even in small ways, you reinforce the belief that you are capable. You stop being the person who waits and start being the person who moves. You stop being the person who blames and start being the person who builds. Mindset shifts are powerful because they transform daily choices into long-term success. When you see pain as punishment, you avoid it. When you see pain as power, you embrace it. That single shift changes how you live, how you grow, and how you succeed. Imagine two futures. In one, you avoid discomfort. You stay safe, but you stay stuck. In the other, you embrace discomfort. You face challenges, you learn, you grow. Which future do you want? You don't need perfection to change your life. You only need the courage to begin. Daily rituals building strength. Through small wins, life often feels chaotic. Distractions pull you in every direction, and fear whispers that you are not ready. Without discipline, days slip away unnoticed, leaving you stuck in the same place. But with discipline, even small rituals can create unstoppable momentum. Discipline is not punishment. It is the daily choice that creates your freedom. The warrior mindset is not built in grand moments. It is built in the quiet, ordinary choices you make each day. And the way to build that strength is through daily rituals. Simple practices that anchor your mind, sharpen your focus, and remind you of your power. One of the most powerful rituals is morning reflection. Before the noise of the day begins, take 5 minutes to sit quietly. Ask yourself, what matters most today? This simple practice clears the chaos and gives you clarity. Instead of reacting to life, you begin to lead it. Another ritual is micro-disciplines. These are small, consistent actions that build massive results over time. Reading 1 page a day, exercising for 10 minutes, or practicing gratitude each evening may seem small. But like drops of water filling a jar, they compound into transformation. I once knew a woman named Priya who struggled with self-doubt. She wanted to feel confident, but she didn't know where to start. So she began with one micro-discipline, writing down 3 things she was grateful for each night. At first, it felt simple, but over months, her mindset shifted. She stopped focusing on what she lacked and started seeing what she had. That small ritual built her strength. Journaling is another powerful tool. Writing down your thoughts helps you see patterns. It shows you where fear controls you and where courage is growing. Journaling is not about perfection. It is about honesty. When you put your thoughts on paper, you take control of them instead of letting them control you. Self-talk is also critical. The words you speak to yourself shape your identity. If you constantly say, "I'm weak, I'm not ready, I can't," you reinforce fear. But if you say, "I am learning, I am growing, I am capable," you reinforce courage. The warrior mindset begins with the language you use inside your own mind. Here's a simple exercise. Choose one ritual to begin today. It could be morning reflection, journaling, or self-talk. Commit to practicing it for 7 days. At the end of the week, notice how your mindset feels different. Small rituals create big change. The contrast is clear. Chaos leads to confusion, distraction, and regret. Discipline leads to clarity, focus, and freedom. Which path will you choose? Ordinary people have used these rituals to transform their lives. A man who once felt lost began journaling daily and discovered his true goals. A woman who struggled with procrastination started practicing micro-disciplines and built a thriving career. Their success didn't come from sudden breakthroughs. It came from daily rituals. Discipline is not punishment. It is the path to freedom. It is the choice to build strength every day, even when it feels small. And when you commit to these rituals, you begin to live with the warrior mindset. The day you choose today. Life does not disappear in a single moment. It slips away slowly, through small choices, quiet excuses, and unnoticed neglect. One day you look back and realize the years have passed, and the dreams you carried inside never came alive. That is the silent thief of life. But here is the truth. You can stop the thief today. The contrast is sharp. Living small feels safe. You avoid risk, avoid failure, avoid judgment. But living small also means living with regret. It means carrying the weight of dreams that never had a chance to breathe. Daring to live fully feels different. It feels uncomfortable at first. It requires courage, discipline, and honesty. But it also brings freedom. It brings growth. It brings the joy of knowing you are living your story, not hiding from it. I once knew a man named Amir who spent years waiting for permission. He wanted to change careers, but he waited for someone to tell him it was okay. He wanted to travel, but he waited for the perfect timing. He wanted to write, but he waited for inspiration. One day, he realized no one was coming. He stopped waiting and started acting. His life transformed, not because someone gave him permission, but because he gave himself permission. This is the choice before you. Living small versus daring to live fully. Neglect versus attention. Regret versus freedom. Life rewards attention. It punishes neglect. Every small decision matters. Every habit writes your story. Here's a simple exercise. Write down one thing you've been waiting for. Then ask yourself, what would happen if I stopped waiting and acted today? That question is the doorway to transformation. Mistakes will come. Failures will happen. But mistakes are not the end. They are lessons. Failures are not final. They are teachers. Each step forward, even imperfect, builds courage. Each act of honesty builds self-trust. And self-trust is the foundation of confidence. You don't need perfection to change your life. You don't need approval. You don't need permission. You only need the courage to begin. Imagine your future. In one version, you keep waiting. You stay stuck, living small, carrying regret. In the other, you stop waiting. You act, you grow, you transform. Which future will you choose? This is your moment of truth. This is your call to action. This is your challenge. You lose your life slowly, but you can reclaim it instantly, the moment you choose today.